Okay, so as you can see, we have different splices everywhere that we've already cut. If you want to jump between the splices, it's very easy. Just use this like fast forward or whatever, and you get the information in here. You could sit there and you could control the speed and everything like that, but I'm not going to tackle that right now. So you can see different clips. You can sit there and review how it looks, let it run through. You're like, okay, If it stutters sometimes a little bit, that's just, don't worry about it. It won't be like that in the finished product. So if you're like, fine what it looks like, okay, great. Now let's add some titles. Oh, you can either travel around like this, travel around with this, or you can just grab it right here. Also, if you're trying to find a certain area, you can use this. Okay, so we're at the beginning. So let's do titles. If you hover right over here in the edit, you're going to see all kinds of things that you can use. Well, titles, okay. Now we have a different list of titles going all the way down. If you want to see what it looks like, you could hold your cursor over it. I'll show you an example. And some of them are dynamic, so you could just move your cursor across. You see how it's scrolling. Basic title, custom titles. Where's the one I use? This is the one I use. Alright, so click on it, drag it, drop it on top, okay? It's just like in a recording studio. You're going to have different tracks or layers. So then click on this, make sure it's active, come in here. Let's type our best bet is to take this right here. Sorry, I'm jumping around a bit. Take this, drag it over, okay? So you can see the title right there. So we're going to go, okay. See, it's already updated. And then if you roll down the mouse, you have this body of text. Okay, whatever. In here, you also could pick the color you want. You have a palette, you can move it around, like as you can see right there. You could adjust the darkness of it, or you could just pick a color. Then hit OK. Now, if you're like, well, I don't want it sitting in the middle of there, fine, yeah, I wouldn't either. So scroll down to where you see your XY axes right here. Click and hold the left mouse button, drag it this way or that way. Keep it held, drag it over till you see, okay, that looks good. Now do your Y axis and eyeball it in there. Okay, we're happy, we're happy. And you could do this anywhere. You could just drop text anywhere you want by just throwing something like this in here. So, like we could jump to the end and say, there we go. Let's go basic title. We'll just use that one. And yeah, we'll put it here. And then we're not going to do anything fancy. We're just going to make sure it's highlighted. Make sure it's highlighted, or else you're going to edit the last one we were just in. So basic title, you could tell if you got it highlighted because it says basic title here, basic title here. All right, so backspace, and oops. You can adjust the size, make it bigger, whatever you want, just by right click or left clicking and dragging it left or right. You can see the number changing. Okay. So now you're sitting there and you're like, well, the cuts between the views are kind of wonky because it's jumpy between them and it's disjointed. Well, we could fix that. Let's go to video transitions. Okay. On a hard break like this, you see where it's like that? If you move this up, you see the white tab right there, the little white thing in the corner? If you move this up, and you'll see the cursor change to this little symbol right here, from this to this, you could left click, hold, drag it over. You see how it's got a little shaded thing? You'll see what it does. So I like to do both sides. So if you go like this, it gives you kind of a basic fade in, fade out. So if you're sitting there and you're like, okay, well, no, I don't want it to be so dramatic. Okay, well, again, and you can come back and you can move this all the way back and it'll take it away. You can take it, make it longer, whatever you want. You can come back to it. So you're coming along. And you don't have to do it for every transition. Like, this is okay. This is okay. Let's say you want to get to a good one right here. Okay, so say from here to here, you want to put some kind of transition. You have different types of transitions in here. You could do, you can see if you hold your mouse over here, drag across, you can see what kind of a transition it's going to be. Okay, and I kind of like these transitions better up here. So you could grab it, okay, with the left click, hold it, and just there we go, drop it right on your cut right there. Okay, so let's zip back here. All right, let's see what it does. So we have kind of like a little transition into this view. They have all kinds of them. So let's do one for this. Let me see. All right. So, oh, okay. Let's try this one. Again, take it over here, drag it. You can see how the squares on both sides of the split. It's kind of the best bet. You can even drag it out if you want to make it a little bit more drawn out. So let's check it out how it looks. Yeah, see? Again, don't be afraid to make a mistake because you could always Control Z. It's fine. It's not an issue. I end up learning the best things by making mistakes. So color dissolve. Let's do that for this transition right here. And let's play it out. So if you want to do something, you can sit there and you can grab this and you can say, okay, yeah, let's fade this out. Okay, fine. And it fades. Fade to black. You could also do that with these titles right here. You can sit there and go, let's fade in. Let's fade out. Let's see how that looks. It'll be a lot smoother once it's done rendering. Okay, so now this down here, you could tell is the soundtrack to the video you're making. If you click on this, you can sit here and you see when it takes this form right here, hold and click, drag down, it'll be quiet. So see, or you could take it and make it crazy loud. Okay, so that's that. You could go through and you can mute all of them. It's up to you. If you wanted to add an MP3 file, you would grab this, move it to wherever you want, like say maybe right here. Okay, and you could do the volume up and down, whatever you want. Or you could highlight it and get rid of it. We're not going to do any kind of music for this one. Excuse me. So, all right, we've edited it. We've put our fades. We put our titles. We're happy with what we have. So the next part is going to be, I haven't done fusion, okay? I haven't gotten that far, but color wheel. So we're going to adjust the color. Let's pick this one right here. Let's pick one. Okay, you see how it's changing dynamically? Okay, we'll do this one. We have these wheels right here that will adjust. What you do is you hold your cursor right over the wheel and you roll your mouse wheel up and down, and it's going to adjust these right here. They recommend that you keep the range of this color scheme within the borders to help from keeping it wash out. So let's go ahead, and you can also see what it's going to look like right here. So let's go ahead. You can see, if you look at it, it's adjusting it. You look at there, you can see it's the effects. Okay. You see, you're like washing out, not good. Okay. I only keep one eye here and but I mostly kind of watch what this looks like, because that's what, I mean, that's going to be the final product. And if you notice on on the slides, if it's got this little colored box, that's mean it's been edited. So if you get it the way you want, and you're like, okay, this looks good, I want to apply this same kind of color scheme to everything else, you right click, and then what you're going to do is you're going to first you're going to right click in the right area. Right click here on the big one right here, and it's going to say grab still. Now we have it over here in our template. Now you can come over here, and then you could say right click on here, right click, and you go apply grade, and you see it changed it. Not really for the best either. So let's Control Z. Alright, I'm thinking I got a good one, so what we do is we'll get rid of that, clear it out, just highlight it, delete, we'll be done. I'm going to stop here while I get something to look right, and then we'll move on from this point. So I got one I like that's a lot better, so we're going to continue from here. So here's my grade that I grabbed. Remember, you could right click in here and go grab grade, or grab still, and then it'll put it right here. And then you click on the ones that have not been edited, like this one right here. Just click right here, right click in here, and you say apply grade. And you can see the difference right there. Let me do that again. Control Z. This is what it looked like before. After editing the color, apply grade. This is what it looks like. So we're just going to go ahead. Apply grade. Apply grade. Alright, so we have the grade applied to everything that we've got so far, okay? Now, we're going to go to our final step, where we're going to go deliver. This is going to be where we just make the final product. In here, once you click this, you're going to have this window right here. You could go to a preset. You could go upload directly to YouTube. I never use this. I'd rather do it myself. So what we're going to do is we're going to name it DaVinci Basic. Okay. We're going to save to here. So boom, boom, boom. Now let's make sure we have ultra high D, 60 frames per second. We're all good. Now we're ready. So what we're going to do is we're going to go add to render queue. It's going to show up over here. And then we're going to go render all. And it's going to go through, and it runs through, and it looks really choppy. Don't worry, that's not going to be the final product. This is your the status of the job being processed right here. So I'm going to go ahead and stop while this runs, and then I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Okay, so we're all done. Job one, everything's all done. Now you can go ahead and just exit right out. We don't need to do anything more in here. We're all done with DaVinci.